because he'll be bringing these stats up at the end of every set.
Well, good morning and welcome into the Bank of Colorado Event Center almost afternoon as we head toward the Northeastern Junior College Plainswomen's first match on this Friday, September 12th of the 41st Annual Sheila Worley Tournament. I'm Ben Bleck of the Northeastern Plainswomen. An exciting 5-set match last night to win against Casper College. Get to take on number 18, Iowa Western, this morning, now soon to be afternoon. Our pregame show is brought to you by Northeastern Junior College. From Plains to Possibilities, Northeastern Junior College has the educational path for you. Learn more about NJC and set up your tour at njc.edu today. The Northeastern Plainswomen, a win's a win. That's how you have to look at last night. Probably on paper, you definitely didn't want to go 5 in the matchup last night, but you went 5, you found a way to win, and you take on an Iowa Western team that, to be perfectly honest, when you look at their stats and having a conversation with their coaches, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster for them this season. There's really not a lot of anything set for this team outside of their setter, Callie Squires, and their libero, Nakano Maeda. Everything else is kind of fluid. You know, you have some players that play in this situation, and they're riding the hot hand. A lot of incredibly talented players on this Iowa Western team, but trying to find the right mix and match of players on the floor has been a little bit of a struggle for them as they come in. They've had success, and when you look at the talent level of this Iowa Western team, they're getting back to being that elite level national team that they were, 5-10 years ago when this was a team contending for the national tournament and national championship, were the Iowa Western Reavers. They have the size, they have the speed, they have the power, but sometimes finding that right combination of all of those on the floor, which 7, 8, 9 are we going to rotate in, is a little tricky to be able to put together. And so if you're a team like the Northeastern Plainsmen, not that with these tournaments you have a chance to really do a lot of game film and scout and what have you coming in, but there was not really any way you could do that because so much changes every single match for this Iowa Western team. So you have to focus on yourself, and this key to the contest goes for Iowa Western as well. It's brought to you by Carpet Comfort Center, the largest selection of flooring in Northeast Colorado. The flooring you need, the professional installation. Stop by in the Broadway Plaza Shopping Center in Sterling. You have to find a way to get back to doing what it is that you do. NJC was such a roller coaster last night. It was one of the wildest roller coasters I've been on in quite a while in the sport of volleyball. From getting a 6-0 run to giving up an 11-0 run to 4-0 here, 8-0 here. That's the sport, and this Plainswoman team needs to find that levelness this season because they've been going a lot of 5-setters this year, and you've got to start leveling things off. You have to start finding a way to keep the game even, and then as you push into the final third of that set, I talked about it last night with college volleyball, everybody is what they are. I mean, the numbers of everybody is the same. You can try and find a deficiency or whatever, but there really isn't a significant one for any of the teams that we're going to see over NJC's next 3 matches. So you just have to find a way in the right moments to come up big. And I really think that this is something that the Plainswomen are trying to do with the NJCAA National Player of the Week in Kira Lowe-Utrecht. She's the National Player of the Week, but she is such an up-and-down player. She'll get 4 kills in a set, and then there's 3 hitting errors because she's such a high-risk player as a traditional right side, and it goes across the board. You need to find some consistency, maybe leveling off a few of the high highs to avoid the extreme low lows. That's what I'm looking for this Plainswoman team, and then, of course, Iowa Western as well. Plainswomen and Reavers, they always play in this tournament. This is going to be a fun one. We'll come back with starters and first serve next. It's Northeastern Volleyball on the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
matches, I'm on the video. Huh? NJC Athletics YouTube is where the video is, or 94.5 The Ranch is my radio station. Yep.
And we welcome you back into the Bank of Colorado Event Center as we head toward the start of the second match on this main court today. The Plainsmen's first match of this Friday at the 41st Annual Sheila Worley Tournament presented by the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Starting lineup for the Northeastern Plainsmen is brought to you by Stubbs. Sports fans, when you're traveling, you need that one stop that has it all. Stubbs in Wiggins is that stop. Exit 66A, whether you're heading west or east, will get you right to Stubbs. Plainswomen, one change in the starting lineup from last night. That's at setter, where Stella Kader will get the start this afternoon. Middles are still Taylon Eppel and Natalie Moore. Outsides, Caitlin Barnes and Kira Loeu-Trey. The right side, Samantha Mosley, and the libero is Evie Gavette for head coach Mackenzie Nelson. As we mentioned, for this Iowa Western team, the Northeastern Junior College Plainswomen don't exactly know what you're going to get because Iowa Western doesn't exactly know what they're going to throw out. I talked with the coaches prior to the start of warm-ups this afternoon, and all that he could tell me was that Callie Squires would be the setter and Nakano Maeda would be the libero, that everything else was going to be based on their warm-ups. And who was kind of that hot hand as they come in. Maybe a tick of gamesmanship there, but the lineups are in, and the starters, of course, are Callie Squires, Kendall Picolette, the sophomore from Oklahoma, Mariana Vega, the Colombian sophomore, Ella Quasmanen, is in that starting lineup. Leah Fitz. And then I'm missing one. She would be the one that I can't see on the far side of the circle. Iowa Western in their grays with the blue letters and numbers will be going from left to right. That is Maja Chosik, the Polish sophomore that is in the starting lineup, the final for the Iowa Western Reavers. Plainswomen will have the serve going right to left in their black uniforms. It's in the hands of freshman Italian Stella Kader. Former Plainswoman setter Nerea Alvarez Jorge is here today. She's unable to play this weekend at Northern Colorado, so took some time to come back and support her old team. Power serve deep for Kader. To the far side, Picolette will roll shot it near, controlled by Gavette to the pin in Kira Loeu-Trey, and she's turned back at the net. Marian Vega getting the block alongside Callie Squires. Squires will have herself the serve. Iowa Western wins the first point in this first set. Squires punches it down the middle, controlled nicely by Barnes. Set up for Taylon Eppel, diving dig back row, and a touch over from Quasmana. Far side set for Mosley, punch onto the setter. Far side roll shot for Picolette. Now going far again are the Plainswomen down the line. Mosley. Plainswomen had gone middle and then right. You expect in the routine of things that you're going to get the outside involved in the mix. And the block took a step to the outside and then didn't have time to get to that line and double up on Mosley. 1-all into serve comes Sophie Wood for the Plainswomen. Wood flops it down the middle, sliding dig by Quasmana. Too big and out goes Picolette, the Oklahoma sophomore. Plainswomen with a 2-1 advantage, and Sophie Wood will continue with the serve. She came in starting in the third set last night against Casper as the service and defensive specialist for the outside. Pummels one deep on Quasmana. Roll shot, trying to shoot it into the back corner, and Marian Vega is too big and out. 3-1 NJC. Wood. Again on Quismana. Back row. Big hammer down the middle from Picolette. So Picolette getting a good swing for the Reavers. Hands herself the serve. So right now the kills have come from front right. Or the block and then the kill, have come front right. Short serve from Picolette, received by Wood to the near side. Barnes tried to push off the block at the net, and too wide it goes. 3-all in this first set. Our first set brought to you by Better Electric, covering all your electrical work, residential, commercial, agricultural. Better does matter. 970-521-1030. Picolette, far side, received and controlled well by Wood. Set to Mosley on the pin, hits across around the double and finds the floor for his second kill of the match. Mosley led the way with 14 kills last night. The huge block in the fifth set helped the Plainswomen take the 5-set win. Kate Smith coming in for Kendall Picolette as the DS on the back row. Evie Givette will go right at Smith on the service. Back up to the near pin, and Shosik, the Polish sophomore, rips one cross court. She'll find the floor for the kill. Middle serving for herself for the Reavers is Marian Vega. Vega slides it near side on Barnes, who's set on the pin. Mistimed approach, so a roll shot on a cross to the far pin. Big swing, too wide and out, though, goes Quasmana. She's from Quasmanen, pardon me. I need to get my phonetic spelling right. She's a Finnish sophomore, is Ella Quasmanen. That hitting error, the third of the match already for Iowa Western. 5-4 NJC. Madeline Shumway on to serve to the far pin, tip line, find the floor and the kill, so they go back to Quasmanen, and she's able to get it in. In to serve for Chosik is Kennedy Moon, the sophomore from Nebraska for Iowa Western. Moon, a southpaw, puts it on Shumway, far line. Struggle on the receive. Ultimately a bump free over for Evie Givette. Slide to the near pin. Big shot from the Austrian, Layla Fitz. Quick move off that middle to the slide. Kind of a cheat slide as she was level with the setter. But the block had to be kept on us straight down the middle, and Iowa Western takes a 6-5 lead. Moon, serve. Better receive this time. Barnes, near pin, hammers it in for the kill. Kaylin Barnes gives herself the serve. 12 points in. 4 of the points have been scored by the player in rotation 2, and Barnes gets the serve deep. Dug, but not cleanly. Freed over for Iowa Western. Plains have been trying to run the slide with Natalie Moore, and the block is there. Now Coach Nelson over to talk with the down official, because in the midst of the scramble, Callie Squires was under the net, so the determination is you have to be under the net and impeding the progress of the opposing player. She was not from where she was under the net. So 7-6 on the kill. Quasmanen drops in an ace for Iowa Western. Plainswomen back line continuing to be sporadic right now. Trying to find their footing early. First multi-point lead for Iowa Western this afternoon. Quasmanen fielded by Barnes. Bump set for Kader to the near pin for Loie Outre. Her cross is controlled nicely by Maeda. Tips out over the net by Squires. To the near pin. Big rip. Caught the back line. I'm not robbing Loie Outre of a kill there. Kiera picks up her first of the match. Block was called in the net as well. Natalie Moore serves for NJC. Moore into the net. (9-7) set one. Iowa Western with the lead. And their libero, Nanako Maeda. Dead center, controlled up. Kader is a front row setter, tips it over on the second touch. Quick wipe back over by Kwasmanen. Down the middle, Plainsman go for an outside swing that's dug up back row off the block of Kader at the net. Controlled by Shumway. Back row swing for Barnes, tries to find a campfire. Controlled by Picolette. Quick zero tempo set down the middle for Vega. And Vega finds the floor, and NJC will use a timeout in this first set. Buckeye Welding Supply knows that you have questions and they have the welding answers. Stop by and see what sets them apart. 330 South the 11th Avenue in Sterling. I'll mention the key to our contest, avoiding the high highs and the low lows. Plainsmen just haven't been able to find their footing yet in getting on to the top of that plateau. 4 kills, 2 hitting errors. Iowa Western, 5 kills, 4 hitting errors. So both these teams are going to risk reward on the offensive end, which makes that back line even more important. You have to be able to be within your offensive system and give yourself an opportunity to succeed there. So a little flat on the back line. Not that this Plainsman team has been a fast starting team at all this year. You can't afford to be down much more than about 3. Maeda spins a serve near side, picks up an ace. But they had not restarted, so we will stay at 10-7. Serve controlled by Maddie Lynn Shumway. Slide to Eppel, who pokes it off the block. So the Plainsmen were aced because the serve was too quick. Able to take the point beyond it. Taylon Eppel with her first kill of the match. Kader heads to the back line to serve. Samantha Mosley in on the front row. Kader punches it down the middle. Controlled up quickly. Hanging swing for Vega. Out of system. Far side Mosley. Hammers line. Nice high up by Maeda. To the far pin. Roll shot over the top of the block by Picolette. Out of system again. Loiu Trey tools the block and gets the kill. Sometimes it's that out of system opportunity that helps you find your footing. If you know you can get a point there, gives yourself an opportunity. Serve whipped far side, controlled back row, slide to the near pin, block back of the net by Loiu Trey on the tip for Vega. Far side tip over the top of the block for Picolette, controlled by Kader, out of system, and Mosley rolls it deep, overpass to Taylon Eppel, 2-hand push back onto the floor, getting herself that dump down. I'll go kill there, but I could buy block as well. As the game speeds up, you're seeing blockers more trained to kind of almost have that push when you get into the joust to try and find a line. 10-all, Kader pushes a serve back on Maeda. Bump free, played deep and chased down by Barnes back corner. Nice control up to Eppel down the middle. Punch dig free back onto the Plainsman side. Again to Eppel. This time a big swat finds the floor and the kill. Eppel with 3 in this opening set. Plainsman on a 4-0 run out of the timeout, leading 11-10. Kader fires it down the middle, fielded by Maeda, far side. Crossel in the run for Picolette, her second kill of the match. Back to serve goes Callie Squires, the setter, on the right side. Maja Chosik, who has a kill. 5 different players with a kill already for Iowa Western. 11-all, served nicely, controlled by Barnes. Plenty of options. Loiu Trey taking on the pin, finds the floor. That's 3 in the opening set for her. That was that 3-point receive. If you ever needed a Volleyball 101 video of what a three-point receive looks like. That receive where you could have gone middle, you could have gone opposite, you could have gone outside. There was plenty of option. 12-11 Plainsman as Wood whips the serve onto the near side. Run up down the middle. They pulled back Picolette to receive. And the block couldn't quite close on that run up because it's a little different approach when you have that middle pulled back. Although technically she was front right. But she was pulled back on receive, and you have that quick middle run-up. It's tough to block it. 12-all. Serve fielded by Gavette, back row to the far pin for Mosley. Hops hands, high dig toward the back line. Out of system, and the far side rolled down the line comes from Quismanen. Plainsman up and a touch over by Barnes. Iowa Western gets into system, but then tips it over. The Plainsmen were covered for a swing. The setter took a tumble, Callie Squires did on the tip over from Chosig. And the Plainswomen weren't quite ready for the off speed. 13-12 Iowa Western. Nicolette. Serve fielded back row by Barnes. Apple down the middle. Was there a touch? They're going to challenge this, are the Plainswomen. As Squires attempted to matrix out of the way of that one, but we will have the challenge system. And if you've not experienced the college volleyball challenge system, well, you didn't listen to last night's match or watch last night's match because we had 6 or 7 of them last night. Each coach, when we have the camera systems in place, which we do here at NJC, has the opportunity to challenge. I believe it is 2 per match, and you get an additional challenge when you go to a 5th set. If you win your challenge, you keep the card. So you have 2 cards. Well, you have 1 card, but you have 2 chances to use it, and you don't lose the challenge unless you lose the card unless you lose the challenge. A lot of teams, you won't see the early challenge at the NCAA Division I level early in the match unless you're 100% confident, used in the 3rd and 4th sets, most notably at those higher level matches. And then it's an opportunity in that 5th set, if you've got multiple available, to really be able to slow the pace of play as we saw last night. Sterling Health Foods knows it's a challenge to stay healthy. They're still open, still in the business of your best health, and they'll bend over backwards to get you healthy. Check out the rewards plan south of Sterling on Highway 6. As it was scored, it's 14-12 Iowa Western. If NJC wins the challenge on the touch, Taylor Epple would have her 4th kill, and it would be 13-all. The longer it goes, I said yesterday, the more likely or less likely it is to be overturned. But we did see the near 6-minute challenge in the first set last night between NJC and Casper that ultimately was overturned on a touch situation. Very similar to this. I would be interested to sit and talk with Sheila Worley, for whom this tournament is named after, about the review system. Didn't have that available back when she coached here in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. She's unfortunately unable to be with us this weekend. She's back home doing some family stuff, and we'll talk about her and what she's meant to women's sports and Northeastern Junior College throughout the weekend. So they go to the book first to get the clarification, and the challenge is no touch. So a hitting error on the Plainswomen. Coach Nelson will have 1 challenge card left for the next 3+ sets. So Kendall Picolette continues with the serve. Iowa Western now on a 3-0 run as Evie Gavette with the receive. Set near side, push into the block at the net for Caitlin Barnes. Controlled up by Gavette, tip over far side for Samantha Mosley. She finds the floor, so 3rd player with 3 kills. Good balance, 1 middle, 1 outside, 1 opposite from Stella Cader to get them all involved right now. 14-13, Plainswomen down by 1 as Gavette takes a serve. Gavette Punches it near side. 10-foot line swing sailed way too big and out for Chosick. First hitting error in a while for Iowa Western. Gavette punches one near side, controlled up by Smith. Onto the back line goes the swing of Vega. Coach Nelson wants to challenge it, but having already lost a challenge in this set, you don't want to lose both of your cards in the first set. Iowa Western takes the serve, up 15-14, and hands it to Marian Vega. Vega fires it far side. Gavette, great control to the net. Natalie Moore punches around the block. Tip back over after a couple digs out of system. Barnes near pin, rips it into the block. Controlled up by the hands of Quismanen. Down the middle, Natalie Moore turns back the swing of Fitz. Then over the top of Moore goes Chosick, keeping it up. Far side, Mosley wipes it toward the back corner. Running, dig up back row. Set far side through the block at the net. And down and in for the kill goes Quismanen. First second kill of the match. Fourth Reaver with 2 or more kills in set 1. Vega. Hammers the serve down the middle. Barnes with the control up. Natalie Moore, the swing around the block to the floor. Great job by Kader to keep the ball on her side of the net. As a back row setter, she couldn't have that ball go over, so she got her hand up early and then just basically tucked it back onto her side. Maddie Lynn Shumway on to serve for NJC with the Plainsmen down 16-15. Near pin cross swing for Chosick. Overpass on the receive. And Quismanen is able to tuck it down. 17-15. The serve to Kennedy Moon for the Reavers. Moon. Knuckler down the line and in for an ace, the second ace of the match for Iowa Western. Make it 18-15, and timeout taken by Coach Nelson, who will pull aside Maddie Lynn Shumway and have a conversation. She's controlling that right back defense. And ultimately that's what this is all about, is teaching and growing. Coach Worley has talked about it several times with the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Hey, you want to hear a good interview? Good coaching on Spotify with Sheila Worley, one of our good coaching series that we did this summer. Talked with her about the changes in the sport, the developing of team chemistry, all the pieces that come into building a program. And that's the one thing she was and still is to this day, even in her 80s. She is a teacher. Every time you're with her, you're going to learn something. And great coaches do that. You know, you recognize a fault in Maddie Lynn Shumway on how she was receiving. And I mean, it's not like she doesn't know how to receive. It's just a little tweak. So you take the time, let your assistant coach work with the rest of the huddle and pull the one aside and say, hey, here's how I need you to do this. We're going to do this and this. Just shuffle this way. And as an athlete, a great athlete, you want to continue to learn. But out of timeouts now is NJC in set 1, down 18-15 to number 18, Iowa Western. Short serve into the net. How about another ace? So it worked serving 1, which is right back. Plainsmen adjust out of the timeout on their coverage, and then you just serve 3. Now go back to the 1 as Gavette gets a good control. Slide to Natalie Moore, who goes off speed. Overpass to the Plainsmen. Kader to the near pin for Barnes. She fires a howitzer that's dug up by Maeda. Far side roll, spun deep, and Wood will control it center back. To the near side for Barnes, who tips it line. Too wide and out. It's another one that I think Coach Nelson might want to challenge, but having already lost a card in this first set, not going to have that opportunity now. 20-15 Iowa Western. This is a 4-0 Reaver run. Short serve, controlled nicely by Wood this time. Slide to the pin, Natalie Moore. And Quasmanen was right there to block it, as Moore wasn't able, because of the coverage, to get the first step she needed on that slide. 21-15. Serve punch deep, high, controlled by Wood. Back to Natalie Moore, blocked and controlled by Kader. Bump set to Barnes, who rolls it down the line. Chased up high by Kate Smith. To the far pin, Quasmanen hit it. Punch back over by Moore off the miss hit. Quasmanen again with the swing. Controlled by Wood, center back through the block. Kader, front row setter, dump over and finds the floor for the kill. Just turn and flick the wrists and drop it on in. In the 5-0 run for Iowa Western, and hand the serve to Caitlin Barnes. Barnes down the middle to the near pin. Big hammer kept up by Gavette, but then nobody else could get a clean touch. Layla Fitz headhunting there, picks up her second kill. 22-16 Iowa Western. They found a combination that works right now. Quasmanen, 2 kills, 2 blocks, and an ace. Far side fielded by Barnes. To the near pin, Loe Outre. She hit the antenna. Another hitting error and another slow start for NJC. 12 kills, but 7 hitting errors by my unofficial tally. 23-16. Serve powered up by Madeline Shumway. Back row to the near side. Loe Outre diving dig up back row. Backside sweat, and the swing hops from Picolette off the block of the net to Moore with a quick tip into the block. Controlled high to the near pin. Loe Outre, and she tops it into the net. It's now set points for Iowa Western, who were on an 8-1 run over the last 9 points. And we'll look to finish it off on the serve of Ella Quasmanen. Quasmanen fielded back row by Barnes. Kader back to Moore, who clipped tape, and it tumbles down and in. Her second kill of the first set. Neither side has a real hot hand, each with 5 on the Iowa Western side, 4 on the NJC side with 2 kills. Kennedy Kerr in to serve as Kerr whips it near side on Quasmanen. To the far pin, and the shot rolled over. Madeline Shumway digs it up from Picolette. Back set for Kerr. She runs it over out of the back row. To the far pin. Block attempt by the Plainswomen, and Picolette tools it and ends the first set. 25-17. The Reavers top the Plainswomen. Second set next on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Plainsman fall in set one to Iowa Western 25-17 as we come back to the Bank of Colorado Event Center for set number two, brought to you by Sidney Regional Medical Center. Don't let that injury keep you out of the game. Let them take care of you. Sidney, Nebraska, SydneyRMC.com for more. Back row play has been where the Plainsmen struggled once again, much like they did in the first set last night against Casper. Setters having to run all over the place. Stella Kader still able to get a lot of good work in the offense. 12 kills, 10 of it within the offensive system. But for Iowa Western, they were able to display the blocking game and picked apart the back line with 3 aces in that first set. It was really those aces in the middle of the set that created the disparity. Iowa Western closed set number one on a 9-2 run. Plainsmen will now go from left to right, Reavers from right to left. No changes for either side right now. So Iowa Western will start with the serve in the hands of Callie Squires, their setter. She had 12 assists. Iowa Western had 12 kills. Every single one of their kills were in system. Their back line was very good in that first set. Squires. First serve, line down the middle, fielded by Caitlin Barnes, back row. Kader back set for Mosley, who pushes it over the top of the block. Quick zero, back down the middle. Barnes will dig it up on the back row, set to the pin. Mosley on a cross around the block of Vega. To the far pin, joust at the net. Plainsmen nearly punch it down with Eppel. Ball dug back up to Mosley. She can't punch it down. Far pin, Chosick cross. Diving dig up by Barnes back row, and a flat free play by Caitlin Barnes deep. Handed up back row by Maeda. Block at the net. Taylin Eppel and Samantha Mosley denying Vega to get the first Plainsman block of the match. And winning the first point in this second set, Sophie Wood will take the serve. Wood powers it down the middle. Unquist Monin, big cross. Into the net went the block. Eppel and Barnes trying to deny Vega. Vega missed the near sideline by 2 feet, but a blocking error for NJC. Squares us at 1. Nicolette with the serve down the middle. Nice receive by Evie Gavette. Far side Barnes caught hands. Maeda will run it up high. 10-foot line swing. Cross deep. 2 deep and out for Quasmanen. Iowa Western had hitting errors early in the first set, but then they kind of leveled off in that regard. Evie Gavette takes the serve as Kate Smith comes in on the back row to receive. They'll go right at Smith, who gets a nice receive to the far pin. Big hammering in for the kill for Chosick, her third of the match. Yeah, you want to serve 1 and 5. But Iowa Western has proven they've got great receive in every position. Marion Vega angles a serve, sharp, short, back left. Barnes tips it over after receive. Reavers weren't ready to receive it, and Barnes becomes the 10th player in the match with 2 or more kills. Maddie Lynn Shumway takes the serve. In Samantha Mosley's spot, NJC 3, Iowa Western 2 in the second set. Short serve, how about an ace for NJC? Maddie Lynn Shumway with the first Plainsman ace of the match. Have a 4-2 advantage. Serve power deep. Quick set to the near pin. Quasmanen tips it over. Kept in play by Gavette, but not high enough for a second touch to be had. Third kill of the match for Quasmanen. 4-3 NJC, and on to serve for Iowa Western is Kennedy Moon. Moon whips in near side. Shumway with the up slide to the pin. Natalie Moore can't find a campfire. Nice control up for Iowa Western. Quick chop short on Kader. Far pin out of system. Barnes turns it off the block and gets the kill. So Evie Gavette able to get a good ball to the pin for Caitlin Barnes to use her second kill in the set. She hands herself the serve. 5-3 Plainswomen with the lead. Barnes powers it deep on Maeda. Near pin, Quasmanen. Turned back by Loie Outre and Kader. Again, too quick of a jump for Natalie Moore. And hung Kader out to dry. The tool off the block makes it 5-4 as Quasmanen gets the kill and will head to the line to serve. Iowa Western has run so many zero and quick tempo sets. And Natalie Moore tried a quick jump on the block. And just missing the back line was Quasmanen on the serve. Good let go by Shumway. Although I wasn't so sure it was a good let go when she let it go. Natalie Moore serving up 6-4. Overpass on the receive. Shumway up back row. Far pin, big swing, Loie Outre dug high off the scoreboard. Kira with her fourth kill of the match and puts NJC up 7-4. Moore cleanly over the net this time, controlled by Maeda. Near pin swing, clipping the block of the net is Picolette. Dug up by Barnes, scramble, free ball, back over by Shumway. Iowa Western to the near pin, big swing, Picolette, nice control up by Barnes. Again freed over, this time by Eppel. Controlled on the far line, slide to the far pin, off the block, diving up by Kader. Barnes sets far side, Loie Outre crossing too wide and out. Nice scramble by both sides, ultimately led to an NJC hitting error when finally Iowa Western was able to put the ball in the setter and get the Plainswomen out of system. 7-5 NJC. Iowa Western serve from Maeda. Short up by Barnes. Kader punches it into the block. Second time trying to turn it over and gets tagged with a two-hit, looking to roll it over. Again, the two-hit violation only exists if the ball goes onto the opponent's side of the net and is not clean. That one clearly was not. No protest from Kader. Plainswomen lead cut down to 1, 7-6. Maeda crawls the net cord and it drops down for the ace. Her first ace of the match. Maeda running short, up by Barnes. Kader to the far pin. Loie Outre, big howitzer, nice dig by Maeda. Scramble to get it back over. Plainswomen need to use it. Barnes, Kader, slide for Eppel. Controlled back row by Moon. Near pin, Eppel blocking back on the swing. Kept up. Did double this time off Kader and Eppel, and the kill goes to Picolette, her fifth of the match. Iowa Western now has an 8-7 lead, up 1-0 in set 2. Maeda flies it deep, too deep and out, and will end the run. You've got to use that air if you're NJC. Iowa Western has not committed a lot of service errors this year. You have an opportunity to use it, use it. 8-all. Kader whips it far side. Nice work to get a bump set. Near pin, chip over short for Picolette. Gavette sets to the near pin. Samantha Mosley with her fourth kill of the match. The Plainswomen forced out a system, but still able to find the point and the 9-8 lead. Kader whips the serve far side, nicely controlled by Maeda. Front row setter, able to two-touch it down for Kelly Squires, first setter kill of the match. for Iowa Western, and Squires gives herself the serve as Chosick comes back in on the front row. Chosick. Good block add to the team as the serve will be run deep. Freed back over by the Plainsmen. Near pin cross. Nice control by Gavette on the Picolette swing. Far pin, Loe-Outre into the block. Controlled off the net. Can't get back over in 3. So Loe-Outre with 5 in the match for the Plainsmen. 10-9 NJC. Sophie Wood takes the serve. In search of a run right now if you're the Plainsmen. Diving dig on the receive, run up down the middle from Picolette. Eppel, second touch, turns it over. Far side swing, Eppel and Barnes there, used as a tool by Picolette. Her 6th kill of the match. 10 all. Short serve. Hot receive by Gavette, and the block trying to get into a joust with Kader, who is a back row setter, got into the net. The Iowa Western coach is up to say it was a back row touch that went over. But she didn't touch the ball until she'd been in the net. She caught tape trying to get into that joust, at least from my vantage point. So I'm not so certain that a challenge is usable here for Iowa Western. Marian Vega attempting to get into a joust, got into the net. So it's 11-10 NJC. Evie Gavette on serve. Gavette, collision on the back row, caused 2 touches. Free ball over. Gavette has to chase it down. Barnes into the block. Moore will control it up. Bump set. Gavette near side. Mosley tickles the back line. That's the 5th kill of the match for Samantha Mosley. 12-10 NJC. Evie Gavette. Just over the net cord. She mishit it and had enough muscle behind it to clip it over off the tape, and it's down for the second ace of the set. 13-10 Plainswomen. Serve line deep. Maeda mishanding it. 10-foot line swing. Quasmanen up by Gavette. Kader back throw. Mosley big swing. Turned back by Quasmanen and Vega. So Mosley's first hitting error of the match, caused by the block this time. She only had 1 hitting error last night. 13-11. NJC's lead is still 2. So serves back over to the Reavers. Vega. Knuckler far side up by Barnes. 0 for Nat Moore. Got the touch. Plainswomen, having lost a challenge already in this match, would probably have wanted to challenge had the touch not been called. I'm surprised Iowa Western isn't challenging that it was a touch. It was that close. Quick set over the top of the block of Moore. On the soft float goes Layla Fitz, her 3rd kill of the match. Iowa Western's back row is doing a great job of keeping them in system and keeping the Plainswomen on their heels. Kennedy Moon. Short serve, collision back row between Shumway and Gavette. This was the problem last night when NJC went. The 3 that competed for the Lib jersey, Shumway, Gavette, and Wood. Too many Chiefs, not enough followers. I don't know which part of that iteration would not get me potentially in trouble. But you understand what I'm trying to say. Tip over from Natalie Moore. Moore, her 4th kill of the match, makes it 15-13. Barnes, 2 wide and out on her service. Like, conceptually, the rotation where you have Wood, Gavette, and Shumway all back there, and even now Gavette, Shumway, and Barnes, who was a Diaz last year, should work defensively. But I think finding who's going to captain that bunch is the question right now. Who's going to be that leader when you have 3 players that are used to being the leader in that regard? Short serve from Quasmana, fielded by Shumway, far pin, tipped down the line, onto the line goes Loie Outre. That's 6 in the match for Kiera, 3 in each set. Natalie Moore takes a seat as Kennedy Kerr comes in to serve for her. Moore, Kerr's serve. Fielded by Moon, back row, set far side. That was a wonky-looking set that got on Fitz pretty quickly, but she was able to speed that shoulder through and keep Iowa Western close. Reavers won the first set 25-17. Maeda. Short serve, nice receive by Shumway, dumps that over. The marshmallows are toasty. Kumbaya for the kill for Stella Kader. Kader with the serve, rips it on Maeda, overpass. Loie Outre was blocked back on her swing from Squires. Plainsman in with the free over. Big attack off the near side, dug up by Gavette. Loie Outre then goes off speed and finds the floor. Beautiful block there by Squires, the sophomore setter, to get up and recognize that on the overpass, Loie Outre was going to rip. Plainsman covered it off that and ultimately get the 18-15 lead. Kader. Backside by Maeda, far side into the block at the net. Goes Vega, free ball on the second touch, covered over. Back up for Mosley, she pushes block of the net. Maeda hands it up to the near pin, roll shot dead center, up by Barnes. Far pin, Loie Outre whistles it in. Kiera with her 8th of the match. A mammoth second set. Kiera has 5 kills, 19-15, timeout by Iowa Western. Kuntz Pump and Well Supply doesn't want you waiting until the last minute to solve all your irrigation, well, and watering problems. Contact them today, 970-522-2035. The Northeastern Plainswomen starting to find some footing here. Not that their receive's been all that great, but it's been better in this set than it was in the first set. That's how it was in the first set. Just the 2 hitting errors in this set after 7 hitting errors in set number 1. And the digs are the one thing I can't track as I go through. I'm not fast enough to talk and stat everything. I can get a rough idea of hitting percentage just based on the kills and errors and knowing the average number of swings that a player will have during a set. And the assists and the blocks and the aces. It does not appear that we have the live stats. We didn't get any at the end of the first set for this one. The entire Volleyball Husbands Club is not here right now. There's only 2 of us in the gym. Requires 2 to run that thing, and one of us has to be broadcasting. 19-15. Kader hammers the serve far side on Maeda. Iowa Western to the near pin. Nice bang on the block at the net. Kendall Picolette with her 7th kill of the match. Back to serve goes Callie Squires. 19-16 NJC. Squires fires up far side on Loie Outre. Kader to Apple through the block. Ping pongs around. Kept high into the rafters. Third bunch over. Barnes up. Kader back to Apple. No doubt this time. Taylon Apple with her 4th kill of the match. Had 3 in the first set. Hadn't picked one up. I think she'd only had like 1 or 2 total swings in the second set. 20-16. Sophie Wood back to serve. She tumbles it down the middle. I think Maeda thought Quasmanen was taking it, and Quasmanen was nowhere near taking it. You want your libero to take that one. Sophie Wood gets the easy ace. 21-16. Wood goes to Quasmanen this time. Far pin slide tip into the antenna by Vega. 22-16. Wood pipes it near side on Quasmanen. 10-foot line swing controlled by Wood, center back. Back set near side. Mosley rips it to the floor. 23-16. Mosley's 6th kill and a timeout taken by the Iowa Western Reavers. Well, I mentioned our Spotify channel where we have Inside Northeastern. We actually have 2 Spotify pages for you to enjoy all the content that the Eastern Plains Sports Network brings, our podcast channel and our game archive channel. Every game that we cover on the Eastern Plains Sports Network goes up on our Spotify page at the next working day. We'll not give you a specific time, but all these games probably won't get up until Monday. But last night's exciting 5-set match against Casper is on the Spotify channel for you to enjoy, as well as Sterling Tiger Volleyball's match against Scotts Bluff last night. Not as many games across the network tonight. Other gym, WNCC, won the first set, and they're tied early in the second set. 2 games going on at a time here at the 41st Annual Sheila Worley Tournament. Plainsman 2 points away from a even at 1 set apiece result. Up 23-16. Sophie Wood will have the serve out of the timeout. Wood rips it center up by Maeda to the far pin. Overshot the run did Vega, and she was able to balance herself around the block and put it down. She'd really pushed out to that far pin and even had to lean further back to be able to put it down. 23-17. Serve from Picolette. Wood, the control, back onto the Iowa Western side. Nice job staying back for Marian Vega to be able to turn it down off of the overpass. It's one of the hardest things to not get over onto that side and get too anxious in trying to block it back. 23-18. Near side control much better this time by Wood. Back from Mosley. Mosley off hands. Her 7th kill gives NJC 6 set points at 24-18. Evie Gavette to serve. Kate Smith is in to receive. Gavette go right at Smith. Near pin. Quasmanen pings the block and gets the kill. 5th kill of the match for the Finnish sophomore. Middle serve, still set point for NJC as Marian Vega heads to the back line for Iowa Western. 1 good receive, and Vega will now come out, and Ava Lee, freshman from Wisconsin, will be the service specialist. Knowing you're trying to mount a comeback, you need the second defensive specialist as opposed to a middle there with no lib on. Lee Fielded back row by Barnes to Mosley, who fires a howitzer down. 25-19. Mosley with 5 kills in the set. Loe Utre with 5 kills in the set. Plainswomen even it at a set apiece. Third set next on the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Because I was like, okay, we lost the first set. I can bring it because we'll win in 4. And then got down in that fourth, and I was like, I don't know that I have enough left to get through the 5th set. Right. And today I'm like trying to plateau, knowing that I need to bring it tonight because that's the bigger one. Yeah. And I'm like, oh. They're bad. I don't know what's going on the back line. It wasn't good up in Cheyenne. Clearly, as they struggled last weekend too. All of them that went 5. So. Oh, I was going to tell you, I was watching Cheyenne. I was so frustrated because they don't have sound on there. So I had you playing on my phone, and then I was watching it on my work phone. I was listening to you, but it was a little bit behind, obviously, but that was okay. Yeah, because they fired the SID that plugged me in last year. And I'm pretty sure I knew how to plug in, but I'm not going to do something I wasn't told to do. So. While I was watching, because I was like, they have no sound. They have no sound. This is awful. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. But if I eat, I'm going to want to take a nap. You're not an elementary. No, I'm going to go out to sleep and watch Taylor's side. Because they start at 4, so I'll go watch her play and come back for the 7:30. So.
Back for the third set, tied at a set apiece between the Northeastern Plainswomen and the Iowa Western Reavers at the 41st Annual Sheila Worley Tournament. I'm Ben Blecka. Our third set brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan. Borrow your money and do your banking with people you know and people who know you. Many locations across the area and the state, equitable-savings.com for more. Plainswomen, exceptional offense in set number 2. Again, not with any opportunity to have full stats, but NJC with that's 8, 11, 14, 16 kills, 1, 2, 3, 4 hitting errors. So probably consistent over 350, maybe even closer to 400 for the set. But it's not like Iowa Western was terrible in that set either. Iowa Western, 11 kills, just 3 hitting errors. We said in the pregame show, I talked about it last night. We have the Bleckatology numbers where I'm able to kind of calculate the school letter grade for a team, right? You know, A, B, C, D, F in the American standard. For our international people, I don't know if that's still the grade standard we see, but, you know, the 90, 80, 70, 60, and then below. And the overall effectiveness, everybody in this tournament is a B or a high B or a low A. Like there's 6% differential between everybody, so it's doing it at the right time, and NJC did it at the right time in set number 3. Going right to left in the third, Stella Kader will have the serve. Kader down the middle, handed up by Quismanen to the far pin. Roll shot over the block of the net, and Picolette picks up her first kill of the set, her 8th of the match. She has 8, Quismanen has 5. 5 different players with 3 or more for Iowa Western. Squires. She's served up a nice offense today. Serves the ball down the middle, up by Barnes. Kader bumps that Loe Utre. Huge hammer. Go back to the pin, and Loe Utre with her 9th kill of the match. She leads the Plainswomen offensively. Mosley has 8. 1, 2, 3 others with 4 or more kills. 1-1, Sophie Wood pops a serve down the far line. Quasmonin with the up. Cross shot rolled over by Vega. Near pin swing. Barnes tips it over the block. Griddle's too hot to be handled, and Caitlin Barnes finding the floor again for NJC. I have her for 5 kills, so some offensive balance as Kader's starting to figure it out. 2-1 Plainsman. Wood fires it far side, up by Quasmonin, back row to the far pin. Down and in from Chozik, her 4th kill of the match. Chozik, Vega, Fitz, Picolette, Quasmonin, all with 4 or more. Two all. Picolette, serve controlled by Evie Gavette. Back to Mosley. Huge howitzer. Maeda was creeping in. I don't know why you would ever creep in on that line when 6'7" is about ready to obliterate the ball. She did, and fortunately was able to prevent losing any teeth by getting her hands up. It's 9 kills in the match for Mosley. Gavette serve, overpass. Natalie Moore spikes it to the floor. Moore takes the overpass for her 5th kill of the match. (4-2). Gavette flops it far side on Maeda to the far pin. Mistimed approach, rolled over, controlled by Gavette. Down the middle for Moore, whips it to the floor. That power push that a lot of people challenge as a carry, but she doesn't catch it until it's in front of her face. 5-2. Down the middle, off the block in the net goes the swing of Vega. Up by Gavette and a scramble free over by Barnes. Mishandled, back row swing. Quasmonin turned back. Moore and Mosley teaming up with the block. Natalie Moore 6 away from being top 10 all time in Northeastern blocking history. Serve whipped far side. Maeda pops it up. Back set through the block onto the near pin. Chozik with 5 kills on the Iowa Western side. I think this shows you right now how balanced the nation is. I've not seen Florida Southwest and Miami-Dade, who are 1-2. But got to see Barton earlier today. They're 3. 18 is Iowa Western. 5 is NJC. Like, there's some incredible volleyball being played at the JUCO level. Swing off the near side from Chozik after the Plainsman topped it back on the serve. Bump free over by Gavette. 6-3, Plainsman lead. Down the middle, quick, too quick. Over the head of Fitz, and she couldn't get a clean touch on it. 7-3 NJC, and Maddie Lynn Shumway will take the serve. Shumway down the middle. Nice hot receive to the far pin. Quasmonin off the block and in for the kill. And Picolette's been nice. Fitz has been nice. Vega has been nice. But Ella Quasmonin has been the most impressive of the Reavers this afternoon. I really like the Finnish sophomore. 2 blocks, 6 kills, an ace. Kennedy Moon serves far side, picking on Shumway. Slide to the pin. Natalie Moore push cross to the near side. Far pin swing. Quasmonin turned back. She covers it up off the block of Kader and Moore. She'll go through the block this time. Punched up by Gavette. Wood runs it down, and Natalie Moore frees it over. Quick set, far side, tip short. Moore covered around the block of Kader. Out of the back row, Shumway to Barnes, who plays it center back on Kate Smith. Slide to the pin, off the block of the net goes Fitz. Controlled up by Shumway, back row. Near side, Barnes, roll shot to the far. Handed up by Quasmonin. Down the line she goes. Jump dig up by Shumway. To the near side for Barnes through the block of the net. Maeda with the 1 punch up. Scramble up, won't get over in 3. The longer a rally goes, the more likely it is to end in a miscue. Good job by forcing that miscue for NJC on where they punched it. 8-4. Caitlin Barnes takes the serve. Loe Outre in on the front row. Barnes tumbles in near side, up by Maeda. Hand in the block of the net is Fitz. Diving up, slide to the pin. Natalie Moore pushes it through and down and in. 3 kills already in the set for Natalie Moore. It was Taylon Eppel that was so huge in the first set out of that middle. Now it's Moore that's getting the crack here in the third. 9-4. Barnes, serve fire near side on Moon. Far pin, Natalie Moore with the turn back for what? Solo block on the swing for Quismanen. Timeout taken by Iowa Western. Well, Natalie Moore came into last night with 226 career blocks. She had 5, so that puts her to 231. She's to 233 now in the blocking career tallies here at NJC. So she, 5 plus 2 is 7. She's 5 shy of 238, which is 10th place on the all-time NJC blocking list, held by Zoe T. Yuting was the legal name that she had when she came here from China, but Zoe is what we called her when she played here back in 2013, 2014, 2015. I don't remember what combination of those two it was. She was an incredible blocker, much taller than Natalie Moore. She stood like 6'3", 6'4". Moore's listed at 6 foot. That might be an inch or two generous. But she can jump out of the gym. She's making hair hay in this third. 10-4, NJC with the lead out of the Iowa Western timeout. Caitlin Barnes fires a serve near side. Far pin, Quismanen tips over the block. Controlled up high by Gavette. And then freed over. Slide to the near pin. How about a block? It's Loe Utre and Natalie Moore teaming up to turn back Layla Fitz. Loe Utre's first block of the match. 11 for NJC. Fly serve center. Maeda controls high. Far side. Over the block and miscontrolled by Shumway back row for the kill for Iowa Western. Quismanen with 7 now. Gives herself the serve. Deep receive by Barnes. Quick flick over by Kader. Overpass on the second touch. Moore tries to pop it down. Far side. Moore turns it away. Picolette. That's 4 blocks in the set by Natalie Moore. (12-5) Plainswomen.
I need a picture of Moore. She might get it.
Wood. Kerr serving in Moore's spot. Far pin, big swing, found the back line, did Picolette. That's 9 kills in the match for Picolette. Plainswomen lead is still 6, tied at a set apiece in this third set. Maeda to serve for the Reavers. Short, fielded by Shumway. Feign the slide. Loe Utre. Block didn't go with Eppel and turned back by Vega and Squires is Loe Utre. So back within 5 come the Reavers. (12-7). Serve popped up high by Shumway. Slide to the far pin. Eppel goes line. Nice hand by Maeda on the line. 2-touch free over. Quickly up by Shumway. Down the middle, Eppel. She punches it far line. Sliding dig up to the far pin. Roll shot from Picolette. Controlled by Barnes. Far side Eppel on a slide. 3 straight swings for Taylon Eppel. To the far pin. Block back by Taylon Eppel on the swing from Picolette. Again, she goes over the block this time and too big and out. Now they'll give her the kill. A late touch from the side of the Reavers. That's 10 kills for Picolette. 12-8. Halen Eppel getting the work, though. Ball be wound down the middle. Quick set, far side, dump over and in. 13-8 for the Plainswomen. The Reavers weren't quite ready for that as Mosley comes back in on the front row. Stella Kader with the serve. Kader, near side, controlled by Maeda to the far pin, pushed into the block of Mosley. Gavette will just have to punch free it over. Dump set near side. Nice read, cover up by Loie Outre. To the far pin for Mosley over the block. 6-7 finds the floor. And the 10th kill of the match. (14-8). Kader. Walking approach far third and promptly hammers it into the net. It's just the third service error of the match for the Plainswomen. That was part of the roller coaster last night. Early, they had a lot of service errors. Callie Squires serves for Iowa Western. Plainswomen, nice receive up 14-9 to the near pin. Loie Outre makes it 15-9. She has 10 kills as well. So Loie Outre and Samantha Mosley both getting their work done. The nice thing is for the Plainswomen, that's the only rotation. They're both on the front row. So you always have one power hitter out there. Your middles are showcased today as well. Serve from Wood. Quick set. Off the block of the net goes Picolette, swinging out of the middle. Mosley to the far side. Into the block. Covered up by Kader. Again for Mosley. Over the block this time. Maeda down the corner. Far pin swing. Blocked back by Mosley on the Chosick swing. So Mosley, her third block of the match. 16-9 Plainswomen. Sophie Wood crawls the net cord and over for the ace. A little short on her toss, was trying to play shallow one as Iowa Western takes a timeout, and when it hit the net cord, it tumbled in front of the 10-foot line. Farm Bureau Insurance and Agent Melinda Hutt wants you to handle all your life, home, auto, and farm insurance with them. Stop by 431 West Main Street in Sterling or call 970-526-0202. Spent a lot of time in the gym this summer at the high school camps that NJC works. So my wife's volleyball team was playing in them this summer. And it was fun as these players were in town, especially that last week of June when NJC hosted their camps, to see them here and see them kind of seeing the next generation of player and recognizing that they're only a few years older than those high school players, and seeing great work when it comes to the sport of volleyball. Now to get to see them playing here at home for the first time this season, this weekend, is helpful as well. Timeout is taken. You're mandated to take the full minute or 75 seconds. I don't know what it is. Both teams fully on the floor. Before that, 17-9, Plainswomen out Iowa Western. Second timeout. Sophie Wood, another ace. Fired a rocket hip high at Maeda, who had to choose, am I stepping back and receiving it normal? Am I stepping up and handing it? She didn't choose either and was aced. 18-9. Wood goes near side, near overpass. Touch blocked back by Mosley, kept up in a roll free over. Out of the back row, Wood will bump set to Barnes near side. Her cross in for the kill. The Plainsmen had Kader front right, and as hot as the ball came off that dig, you had to work out a system. Caitlin Barnes with 5 kills. 19-9 Plainsmen. Sophie Wood. Mishanded back row. Another ace, the third of this rotation for Sophie Wood. There's so many players that are doing things in pieces. Natalie Moore with the 4 blocks this set. Couple huge kills from Loie Outre and Samantha Mosley. But the aces here for Sophie Wood are the difference maker right now, as Maria Monseni will come in. The Spanish freshman or sophomore, Monseni, will be hitting right side now. Free ball rolled over by Monseni to the far side for Mosley. She chings it short. Far side Monseni back onto the Plainsman side. Up by Wood, near side Barnes. Turned back, but too wide and out. Barnes with her 3rd kill of the set. Plainsman had 16 kills last set, 11 in this set as Wood rips one deep up 21-9. Far side cross, too wide and out for Monseni, 22-9. 3 away from a commanding 3rd set victory. Wood aces Maeda for a 4th ace in the set. 23-9. Wood, short serve, too short this time, and into the net. Will finally end the run. But I'm pretty sure that was like an 8-0 run on serve. It was big. 23-10. Picolette to serve for Iowa Western. Picolette controlled by Wood. Bumps that Kader to Mosley, who spins it to the near corner. Short down the middle, push through and in. Vega with the kill, her 4th of the match. Iowa Western, their 8th kill of this set. By far their fewest of any set in this one. Gavette receive up, down the middle. Eppel hops hands, chased down by Picolette near the back line. Far pin swing, Quismanen blocked back by Eppel and Mosley. Down the middle, Eppel ended up solo. Vega finds the floor around her for her 5th kill, 23-12. Up by Wood off the receive, back row, back to Mosley, hops hands, dug up back row, and a back row swing for Picolette, too big and out. Set points for NJC, having doubled up the Reavers 24-12. Evie Gavette to serve. Gavette, Knuckler, Maeda with the receive. Quick set down the middle. Natalie Moore tried to turn back Vega. Vega powered it through the hands. Her 3rd kill of the set. Staves 1 off. Still 11 more to go. 24-13. 10 more to go. No, 11, I think. I don't know. Vega with the serve. Barnes missed receive, back row. Gavette to Barnes near pin. Roll shot. Did she catch block? No, she did not. First unforced hitting error of the set. Just the 2nd hitting error in this 3rd set for NJC. 24-14. Run near side. Nice receive by Barnes this time. Back to Mosley, who finds the floor for the kill. 25-14. The Plainswomen take set number 3. They have a 2-1 lead. We'll see if they can finish it in 4. Back to the 41st Annual Sheila Worley Tournament, presented by the Eastern Plains Sports Network next. Back into the Bank of Colorado Event Center we come for set number 4. The Northeastern Plainswomen have a 2-1 lead. Hang on just a second. The Plainswomen, as we head to the 4th, will look to win in 4. Rudy's Tires has several locations across the area, so there's always one close by. Visit rudy'stires.com for more information. Plainswomen will receive the serve as we head to the 4th set. Apparently people don't understand that I'm not working on this Friday the 12th. I'm doing play-by-play at a volleyball tournament. Serve in the hands of Callie Squires for Iowa Western. Up by Loie Outre, far side, and then she'll touch free it back over. Played it on the setter, though, so forced out of system. To the far pin swing, and a swipe over for Chosick, and Chosick gets the kill. Her 6th of the match. It is the first point out of system that's a kill this afternoon for the Reavers. Serve from Squires, handled up cleanly this time by Loie Outre. Mosley down the line, jump dig up by Maeda. Ball scrambled up high, and Mosley turned back. But 2 wide and out on the swing of Picolette. So Picolette with 11. Two 2-0 Iowa Western. Squires serve down the far side, up by Loie Outre. Eppel blocked, covered up. Mosley crossed to the far corner. Missed Doug. Scramble and a free ball over for Picolette. Kader down the middle. Eppel ping-pongs around and finds the floor. That's 5 in the match for Talon Eppels. The middle's much more involved than they were yesterday against Casper. 5 kills for Eppels, 7 for Moore. 2-1, and back to serve goes Sophie Wood, who was maybe the hero of the 3rd set with 4 aces in her rotation to ice the 3rd frame. Wood rips it deep on the serve. Collision and a bump free short right into the radar zone of Mosley, and she hammers it down. Two all. Sophie Wood will have the serve. Serve down the near side on Quasmanen. Over the block of the net, Chosick. Wood pops it up to the far pin. Barnes into the block. Collision on a coverage. Back to the far side. Dug up by Kader as Picolette got a great swing. Back set far side. Barnes angle sharp near side. Free ball swatted over. Down the line, Kader again plays. Bumps that to the near pin. Mosley through the block and down for the kill. That's 13 kills in the match for Mosley after 14 yesterday. Evie Gavette, the 4th one. Out of system, 5 points put down out of system as Wood continues with the serve at 3-2. Wood clips tape, misreceived back row by Quasmanen. Backside swing powered onto the back line. Picolette, she's having a big match with 12 kills. One of 5 players that's averaging more than 2 kills a set, but nobody more than 2.5 for Iowa Western. So there's no like one big power takeover a match hitter for the Reavers, which at times can prove problematic in defending them. Far pin, Barnes into the block. Covered beautifully by Wood, and a swing for Mosley, chipped into the block. Scramble to keep the ball in play, and Quasmanen gets the ball, swung on the near side, and down for the kill. 8th kill. She only had 2 early in set 3. They kind of held her in check as the run came when she was out on the back row. 4-3 Iowa Western. Short serve fielded by Gavette. Kader back to Mosley, into the block, and another kill. That's 14 in the match for Samantha Mosley. Evie Gavette will take the serve for the Northeastern Plainswomen. Gavette. She's had a lot of great runs on service this season. She tumbles one, handled by Maeda, 10-foot line arc deep, controlled up by Wood, back row. Set down the middle, Natalie Moore hangs for the photo op. Swat through, back to the near side, diving up back row. Slide to the pin. Mosley with the big cross, dug toward the rafters at the net. Barnes jumped, never touched the ball, and it went down, so Mosley will be credited with her 15th kill of the match. One more than she had last night through 5. Mosley, you keep these numbers up, you may be in line for some Player of the Week hardware. Far side swing, Chozik in. That's her 7th kill of the match. 5-5, 4th set. Plainsman up 2-1. Vega serves it into the net. That is just the 3rd service error in the match for Iowa Western. NJC only has 5, but Iowa Western has served a very high percentage over and in. NJC leads 6-5 as Shumway comes in to serve for the Plainsmen. Far pin, Chozik, soft poke, Kader pops it up. Gavette tries to dump it to the far side. It's punched over, dug free back over by Shumway, and 2 hits on the touch over on the ensuing second touch from Layla Fitz. So NJC's lead is 7-5. Shumway whistles one far side, set to the far pin. Big swinging hand from Chozik. 3rd kill of the set, and I talked about it earlier with all the different weapons that Iowa Western has. It's been a different one every set. Picolette, some early Vega in the 3rd set. 2nd set, you saw Quasmanen be really good. There's been 2 kills, 3 kills. It's Chozik with 3 in the first 13 points of this set so far. Kennedy Moon in to serve. All popped up to the near side. Natalie Moore rips it into the block. Moore with her 8th kill of the contest. Caitlin Barnes back to serve for the Plainswomen. Barnes down the middle. Set to the near side. Big swing. Did it catch the antenna? Yeah, it did. Quasmanen grazed the red and white pin as she went by with her swing. Caitlin Barnes continues to serve for the Plainswomen. Serve down the near side, controlled up high, back row. Big cross. Handed up by Shumway. Barnes out of system to Loe Utre off the near side. Overpass on the receive from Iowa Western. Loe Utre again. Receive goes off the light structure and rockets right back to the floor. So Loe Utre with her 11th kill of the match. Plainswomen 10-6. Barnes drops an ace right in front of Maeda. So the service game starting to pick it up for the Plainswomen. It's the 8th as a team. Serve, overpass right to Kader. Hammers it to the floor. That's 4 kills for Kader this afternoon. She gets over 5. She would be the 6th player with 5 or more kills. Barnes serves it into the net, 12-7 NJC. That's just the 5th service error of the match for the Plainswomen. They only had 6 through 5 sets last night, but as I noted, I think 4 of them were in that first set. (12-7) Plainswomen. Serve from Quasmanen, fielded back row by Barnes. Set to the far side. Lowe-Utre runs it over to the near pin. Big swing through the block. Picolette dug up high. Moore hangs, pops it through. Back to the near pin. Moore jumped too early. Picolette, her third kill of the set, 13 in the match as Kader was there. 12-8. Kosmanen, short serve, overpass, tried to be punched down by Fitz. Plainsman can't dig it cleanly. Second touch goes awry. 12-9. Kosmanen. Misplayed by Shumway, back row. Back row swing for Barnes. Able to run it down for her 7th kill of the match. Kennedy Kerr on to serve. NJC up 13-9. This is kind of a precarious spot to be at right now if you're NJC. Normally Moore serves the first time to the line, but you need a good service here. Try and give yourself a chance at winning this in 4. Near side swing, tipped over Kerr. Nice coverage up. Kader, back row. Barnes again. Blocked back this time by Fitz. Reavers, just their 7th block of the match. That's still not bad. You know, I mean, you're still just shy of 2 blocks a set. We have at least half this set to go. Maeda to serve for Iowa Western. Punches it on Shumway, far side. Slide to the pin. Eppel crawls net cord. Ball run back to the near side. Big ripping in for the kill. Picolette, her 4th kill. I think Iowa Western would have challenged that ball hit the antenna had they not won that point. It hit the tape and the antenna moved vehemently. Iowa Western is back within 2, 13-11. Maeda, short serve. Evie Gavette can't dig it cleanly. Maeda picks up the ace. Her 2nd of the match. Coach Nelson to the edge of the line, imploring her team to get out of this problem receive rotation that has been the issue all afternoon. Maeda. Serve fielded back row by Gavette, set to the far pin, into the block and down for the kill. Lowe-Utre, a dozen kills this afternoon. Stella Kader takes the serve as Samantha Mosley comes in. This is your most powerful offensive chance. 2 double-digit kill players on the front row. Barnes out of back left, so you have 4 options you can work with. Kader. Serve down the middle, bump free back over. Barnes hands it up. Kader backs up Mosley. Big swing off the shoulder of Kuzmanen. Kept in play and freed over. Gavette up. Kader down the middle for Eppel, who tips it short. Maeda up. Dump over. Covered by Kader. Gavette bumps that far side. Lowe-Utre off the block of the net. Run down backside. Quick set. Swipe near side. Controlled up by Kader. Out of system again. Lowe-Utre spins it into the block and gets the kill. 13 kills for Lowe-Utre. That's 6 balls put down out of system this afternoon for the Plainswomen. 15-12, Stella Kader with the serve. You're good. I'm just stretching my back. Kader hammers a serve far side on Maeda and gets the ace. 9 in the match now for the Plainswomen. The first by Stella, 16-12. Kader, another hard serve. Maeda keeps it up, scramble to chase it down and a free over. Far pin, Lowe-Utre, the back line all out of sorts, and Kiera had all sorts of real estate to put that one down. Timeout taken by Iowa Western as the Plainswomen are up 17-12. B&J Plumbing, when those plumbing problems arise, let them take care of you. Call 970-522-3828. Plainsman will play again tonight, scheduled for 7:30. We'll be running a little bit behind schedule for the match that is slated to start at 2:30. No, we won't be. Math, Ben. 2.5 hours. We go 9:30 noon, 2:35, 7:30. So unless this one goes 5, we won't be running behind schedule after 2. Plainsman play New Mexico Military Institute tonight. We'll have coverage right here on 94.5 The Ranch. And, of course, you can watch all the matches, even the ones I'm not broadcasting, NJC Athletics YouTube, as there's great ones all across the weekend with 6 nationally ranked teams here in Sterling. Plainsman on a run. Stella Kader, who's set the ball nicely in this match. Continues on serve. Kader rips it far side on Maeda. Slide to the far pin. Through the block goes the attack of Vega. Kader near side. Mosley off the block. Diving up back row. Run to the near side and a bump free clip the tape. Up by Kader, out of system. Gavette to Mosley, who hammers it. Overpass onto the Plainsman side. Mosley thought, touch, keep it. Nope, swing it, touch, nope, yet, and hit it into the net. Just her second miscue of this contest. Ends the run, but NJC up 4, 17-13. Serve from Squires, high up by Loiu Trey, down the middle for Eppel, handed up by Squires and a bump free over. Barnes back row, near side Mosley, big hammering in, 16 kills in the match, that's 5 in this set. The second set with 5 for Mosley, lead is 5, and Sophie Wood comes in to serve. Wood, 4 aces to close out the third set. High knuckler deep on Maeda. Back set and a short poke. Gavette diving over and goes wide and out. 5 kills in the set for Picolette, 15 in the match. 18-14. Plainsman lead is still there. Picolette to the back line. Fielded back row by Gavette. Down the middle, Eppel powered into the block, covered by Wood. Set down the middle, Eppel tries to wipe it in. Overpass back to Eppel, tries to punch it down. Dug up again, near Quismanen off the block. Wood control up, set to the far pin. Barnes through hands. Chased down by Maeda to the far pin. Roll shot near side, dug by Mosley. Gavette back to Mosley on the near pin. Big hammer. Run up by Picolette on the back row. Back to the near side. A swing deep by Quismanen. To the far pin. Barnes into the block. Covered up by Wood. Set Kader. Back near side. Mosley short. Diving run up by Maeda. Chase and a free ball. Run deep by the Reavers. Wood up. Backslide. Near side. Mosley down and in for the kill. My God, what a rally. That's 17 kills in the match. Plainsman lead by 5, 19-14. 6 away from winning in 4 as Evie Gavette takes the serve. Gavette wipes it down the near side on Maeda. Set to the near pin, spun down the line. Beautiful placement by Quismanen. That is 9 kills in the match for Quismanen. 19-15. Vega with the serve for Iowa Western. Vega angles it too wide and into the Plainsman stand far side. Nelson Neal was not as successful in receiving that ball as maybe it would have been 10 years ago. Doesn't feel right not being the Chrisman Crouch, but I'll get used to it. Serve deep, fielded back row, quick down the middle, big hammer from Fitz. Far pin, Barnes spins it down the line and picks up her 8th kill of the match. Plainswomen 4 away, up 21-15. Shumway serves it far side on Smith. Near side, Quasmanen through the block. Up by Shumway. Dumps that over by Kader. Far pin swing, hop down the line. Controlled up. Run back over for Barnes onto the near side. Quasmanen pops it up. Tip over Maeda. Actually, Maeda controlled it. Squires with the tip. She finds the floor. 21-16, and Kennedy Moon, the sophomore from Nebraska, back to serve for the Reavers. Moon. Short serve, fielded by Shumway. Slide to Natalie Moore. Nice dig up on the front row and a scramble free over for Evie Gavette. Back down the middle, huge howitzer for Iowa Western and Quasmanen. That's 10 for her. Second Reaver to double digits. 21-17. Moon. Too big and out on her serve. 3 service errors in this 4th set after having 2 through the first 3 for Iowa Western. Down 5, that's a big number. Caitlin Barnes to serve. Near side, fielded by Kate Smith. Big set, Quasmanen blocked back at the net by Moore and Kader. Moore and Kader used again by Quasmanen. Scramble to keep it alive. Try to go to Quasmanen again. And a back row attack was called on Iowa Western. Is that a jump set out of a back row player? I'm not entirely sure there. 23-17. Slide to the far pin and a tip short comes from Fitz. Overpass on the second touch. Plainswomen keep it up. O'Trey down the line. Back through the block goes the attack of Quasmanen. Back to O'Trey. Two-hand touch over. Quasmanen off the block at the net. Kept up. Far pin. Swing by Fitz through. Played on Kader. Bump set. Back row swing comes for Barnes. Too big and out. No touch. Found there. 23-18 NJC. Back in on the front row for Iowa Western comes Kendall Picolette. Ella Quasmanen to serve. Quasmanen near side. Out of the back row, bump set for Kader. To O'Trey on the far pin. She's had 5 in this set as well, 15 in the match, and it's match points for the Plainswomen at 24-18. Freshman Kennedy Kerr to serve it out. Kerr clips the tape up by the Reavers, near side down the line, push for Picolette, couldn't be controlled. Picolette gets another to the tally. That's 16 in the match for her. And the libero, Nanako Maeda, to serve for the Reavers. Still set point at 24-19. Short serve up by Kader on the front row. Shumway to O'Trey, far side, blocked back by the Reavers, 24-20. As Squires her 3rd block, Vega her 5th block. Keep the Reavers rolling, 24-20. Maeda out of the back right serve. Short, up by Shumway. Kader sets to the far pin. O'Trey off speed down the line. Sliding dig up, and Quismanen digs it deep. Up by Barnes. Backslide to Eppel. Sails it too wide and out. Coach Nelson will use a timeout at 24-21. Western Engineering Consultants provides big firm products, small firm relationships. They've been doing it since 2003. Visit westerneci.com for more. You can gain something from every situation. You've had, 3 match points staved off. Just need the one good receive. If you're NJC, Iowa Western has been all out of sorts since the first set, thanks to the Plainsmen kind of finding their footing. And again, NJC's just been massive offensively. That is 16 kills in this set. They had 17 kills in the second set, 14 last set. Can't really match that kind of power for an entire match, but when it's not there, which because the receive hasn't been as great the last 3 points, they're taking that power away. Still match point, 24-21. Nanako Maeda to serve. Maeda, little runner, fielded by Shumway. Far pin swing. O'Trey, hammered cross, dug over by Maeda. O'Trey again, blocked back again. Vega her 6th block. Squires her 4th. The second in this run that's been turned back by that tandem, 24-22. Maeda. Short serve, Shumway with the receive. Kader to Barnes out of the back row. She fires it deep and down. Kill number 9 finally puts it away on the 5th try. 25-22 in the 4th. NJC beats Iowa Western 3-1. Post-match show next on the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
They know sometimes I want them, but not now. I'll do it tonight. We're in the middle of the day. This is just kind of a thing, so. Oh, okay, yeah. Awesome, yeah. No, I love doing this, so. Yeah, probably not. They're young. They're going to be up and down. Yeah. Thanks. Oh, I thought I was going to put my pants back over there.
Plainswoman beat Iowa Western in 4.